Hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Almost Anything Goes podcast, where we continue to tackle today's hottest topics. If you haven't seen or heard any of our prior episodes, just know this that we do it with humor, self reflection, and intellect. And today will be no different. We're talking about the best part of summer, guys, the cookout. That's right. You know the one. Everybody loves a good cookout. So grab your plates and don't forget to include a bit of Auntie's potato salad as well. Let me introduce first my fabulous co hosts. Let's start out with Miranda Sparklejoy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
And God's favorite is with us.
I am always God's favorite. You know that. You see me. Know that I'm the one. Hey, everybody.
And let's not forget about our rebellious advocate, Marsé.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, before we dive in, and before you guys dive into those wonderful cookout plates, let's define the cookout. I should tell you that the cookout that we're talking about today is the historically unprecedented Cookout Alliance formed on the longest running reality show. That's right. The reality show we're speaking about is Big
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 brother.
brother.
Season 23. For those of you that haven't seen the show, not to worry, we will bring you up to speed. So let's start with God's favorite. Do you mind giving us the Clip Note version of the game Big Brother for those of us that are not fully aware of what the show is?
Sure, Stacy. Big Brother is a game show that follows a diverse group of individuals living together in a house, completely cut off from the outside world for 90 days. The contestants have to strategize in order to win a cash pot. It can vary. Sometimes they give a little extra cash. They do challenges within the household, and they have to find a way every week or every couple of weeks. I don't know how many days it is. I couldn't even give you the amount of days it might. Some days it was 8, some days it was a week to vote somebody out of this household so they can get down to the last remaining person and win this huge amount of cash. In the particular season that we're discussing today, I believe the cash pot was like $750,000, which is $750,000, which is a lot, which a lot of us would love to strategize to throw anybody under the bus. If you could just give me that much of $1 million, it sounds good on paper, but it was some relentless and grueling things that they had to do to one another. And it's a show. If you would like to check it out, sure, if this is your thing that you want to do. But everybody can't take it, everybody can't swallow it, because it was some cutthroat moments in that season in particular of Big Brother. And when I say strategy behind the scenes, over and over discussing how we gonna get these people off the show. It was a good watch, and we're gonna learn more about the cookout today.
Mm-hmm. Dave, thank you so much for that overview. And you are definitely right. $750,000 can make individuals do and say anything to be the last person standing. Marseille, can you tell us the cookout? The cookout is not the cookout that we're talking about. We're talking about an alliance
Yes,
called the cookout. Can you give us a little bit of background on what the cookout is for those?
absolutely. So the cookout was formed with the expressed intent of having the show see its first African American winner. And this cookout, this alliance, comprised of 6 African American house guests who joined together at the start and worked in secret as a unified front to achieve their goal.
Thank you very much. So, now that everybody is caught up, you know what the real true cookout is, you got an overview of the game show, and you know what the objective is to be the last person standing. Just to give you a little backstory, the Big Brother series is ongoing. It is on currently. This is not a plug for it. I'm just telling you that it is currently in season and it is up to 25 or 26 seasons. So this is season 23 that we are specifically talking about. And the key point here is that out of 22 seasons, there has never, ever been an African American winner. And so this cookout, as Marsé said, includes 6 individuals that are African American with the sole purpose of being the last person standing in this group. So now that everybody's up to speed, let's jump into the topic that kind of took over social media during this season. So let's start with Miranda. Let's start with the blaring question. Was this just a form of reverse racism?
That's a good question. Before we even jump into that, I still must say, first of all, Stacey, you made us watch this, and this is the first time some of us watched Big Brother. So I don't know how you thought you were going to get away and just come up here and not hear my mouth on the fact that you made us watch Big Brother. So let's go there. And why, Stacey? Why was this the first time? When I was watching this, I started thinking, I do not understand. I had never seen an episode of Big Brother, y'all, because it's not my thing. However, why in 20-something episodes was that the first time an African American won? Like, I don't. First of all, you all that out here watching Big Brother, like, it makes no sense to me that a person of color has not won and you all just kept watching. Okay, I'm sorry. Now that I done got that out. Reverse racism, Stacey.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Fire.
Was it an alliance, Miranda, or was it an act of reverse racism?
I think it was an alliance. Perhaps everyone was banding together to avoid people of color. I don't think it was reverse racism. Personally, I think that they got together and they just made an alliance. I think it was brilliant. It was a brilliant strategy. However, it was just time. I think it was time. I don't see it. I can see why people would think it's reverse racism, but I don't see it that way. I think it was an alliance.
Okay. Anyone want to add?
Yeah, I believe that those who aren't of the minority don't like the feeling of becoming the minority. When the tables are reversed, it's all of a sudden all lives matter. Does reverse racism exist? Yes, it does exist, in my opinion. Heck yeah, it does. We all have the ability to hate when it comes time to hate. Does that mean that we all do? No, we don't. See how I play both sides of the fence? So yes, I'm agree with Miranda on that topic. Yes, in this case, it became reverse racism for them because they were losing and they were excluded from the majority group, and they weren't understanding that, oh, we formed what was called an alliance, the cookout, to get you all out so that we could win. But if people watching and they understand, this is what the game's all about. They made it reverse racism because we decided to band together in unity. Look, I said we like I was on the show. People of color, black people, I ain't gonna say people of color, black people banded together and formed an alliance so that we could guarantee that one of our complexion would win this competition. Like she said, 22 seasons, which probably was 22 years, because this show really airs like once a year. That's some people's age that was on the show. They started watching the show and they were barely 22, 21. It's never been an African-American black person that won this competition. And that's a shame. Is it set up that way? Who knows? We're not going to jump on the producers, but people don't like to be the minority, and they use that as an excuse saying reverse racism when they honestly themselves don't know what racism actually is. I believe it exists, but I don't believe in this instance that it was reverse racism, because I know we might get into this later, but as we got down to the six, they had to get rid of each other too. So at that moment, it was an alliance. It wasn't about complexion. Then people had to go. Only one person could win this competition, and that was through strategy. So there we are.
Okay.
I would like to say that they could have formed another alliance. They had so many different alliances regardless. So just because this group formed an alliance based on perhaps whatever their background, whatever it is, nationality, race, the other group could have done the same, but they just chose not to. So how is it for me? It's still just hard to swallow reverse racism.
And some would say in the backstory and some of the comments that was received during this episode or this season was an alliance is usually built where people with a common theme come into play. You're always navigating to that common theme with someone. So that could be an alliance. They also did a comparison, or they attempted to compare, is it the same thing as a men's alliance, a woman's alliance, or is it slightly different because it's of the race aspect is behind it?
I think it's unfortunate that we don't want to admit to the fact that if we all walked in a room, you're going to go to what you're comfortable and familiar with. And if we all are strangers walking to the, come on, like Marsé, I'm sure you see this with the kids.
Mhm.
The white kids are with white kids, black kids are with black kids, Hispanic kids are with Hispanic kids. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying it's comfort, it's familiarity, and that's typically what we do. And we have to be extremely, and of course, we're all here people of color. And I am sure when we walk into the room, we know, okay, yes, those may be my people. However, I may be here for all people. And so maybe we are purposeful to not just gravitate to Black people. However, let's be real, like that exists. It exists today.
Marseille, anything from your end from a dealing with the younger generation? Your thoughts on actual claim of reverse racism? I didn't want to skip over you.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think that it's. I don't think that it's reverse racism because it's an alliance. It's nothing less than an alliance. I think of other reality shows. I feel like there have been so many alliances against people of color, where if again no one's claiming racism. No, it's just Miranda said it's we are naturally drawn to people who look like us, who have the same characteristics as us. It makes sense. I probably would have done the same thing especially knowing that there has not been a African American Black winner of this reality TV show for 22 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely go in there with the thought process of I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure a Black person wins this. I don't think that's racist. I think that's determination, and that is fighting against systematic racism, if anything.
Okay. All great points, guys. It sounds like the consensus is all's fair in love and war. So more food for thought. See what I did there about food? You're with me. Okay. Do you agree that this approach was necessary, not just to win the game, but as a teachable moment for the culture? Anybody jump in?
Sure. Let me take this one. Seeing that before that, let me say I'll say this. Seeing that it wasn't a Black person before on this show as a winner, yes, it was completely necessary for them to do what they needed to do, like the Rebellious Advocate said, and so Miranda also, that they needed to do this and it should have been done a lot more than it was done. There were Asian winners, there were Caucasian winners on the show. When you walk into a room and you already feel defeated, it's a problem. Like, they went into this, we don't know their thoughts completely. They went into thinking probably, oh, I want to win this. But they also went in there knowing that there was never a winner that looked like me. So there's a strong possibility that they could have felt somewhat partially defeated before they went into the room. So, yes, it is a necessary teachable moment for our culture to be able to understand that if we band together, things can get done. This season aired during the year with the whole George Floyd movement and the fact that it was like right at 2020. So this was also going on at the same time that we were also banding together as a community, getting out there marching, getting out there protesting. When we are unified for the culture and what we do, and that we believe, if we're Malcolm, if we're Martin, when we're unified, it works. It comes through, it pulls through, that we can get victory in what we do when we're all together, banding together. So yes, I believe it was a teachable moment for the culture that, oh, if you want to win, it's nothing wrong with having somebody like-minded, agreeable beside you to get done and accomplish what you need to do. I know we're talking about our own skin complexion, the culture, but also in any situation you might be in, you band together with some others with some strong mindset that can get you to do. You can't do this walk in life alone. Yeah, it was a great moment, and it was a great moment in history on television, and I loved every bit a second of the victory that we received. If you can see, for those who can see, I got on black athletic wear. I wore this purposely today to let you know we can do this together.
Does your shirt say together? Is that
No,
what? I can't see your shirt.
It's a black, actively black. It's black. It's a black clothing brand.
Nice.
Good stuff. Anything to add to that?
No, I think it was well stated.
So good dialogue. There's so many perspectives on this. What impact? Let's talk about the strategy, because I don't think the strategy should go unnoticed. It wasn't a simple band together, and you're going to get a little bit of my opinion in there. This took work still. Some people might have said it's easy because you guys all band together and you had the loyalty in place. This took strategy, guys. Strategy. What impact do you think this strategy will have on the culture in itself? Do you think the message was received? That was done 4 years ago. Come in present day. What do you think? Did it have an impact for?
I think, yeah, obviously it did, because you've had plenty right after that minorities who were selected. And I'm going to throw this out there again. I watched one season of Big Brother. I won't watch another one. But with that being said, we did peek to see if there were additional minorities that won after. So yes, the floodgate, not just the floodgate, it's really sad that it took them to do that, for them to also understand it was perfectly fine for other people of color to win. And again, for me, it's just such a bigger systematic problem that we have going on here, because it just shouldn't. 20 freaking years, not one person of color, and they've seemed to have had a person of color in those episodes. And so it helped to destigmatize. It's okay that people of color can win, and that just shouldn't be. We should not have to still in 2020 fight that, but yet we did.
And let me ask another question, slightly a little bit different. When I talk about the impact, what do you think the impact will be on the game going forward for other African Americans entering after the Cookout Alliance?
I was just about to bring partial of that up in my statement. The strategy was definitely positive for the culture, but for the producers, good luck and you ever having 6 black people at the end again. They will make sure that they don't bring more than 5 black people in the house at a time so that we can't get down whatever number it is that can get you down to the point that these votes won't, that you can't be that creative. I can only imagine, because a lot of these shows are scripted, right? And from a Big Brother standpoint, they probably were thinking, oh, gosh, we just opened up the floodgates and let the smartest black people in the room, and they figured it out, and they figured, oh, dang, we messed up. We got to give almost $1 million to a black person. I'm not saying that was the case, but in 22 seasons, you never know. I got to play advocate on this side, Rebellious Advocate. Like, you just don't know that the producers probably were thinking, like, dang, we wasn't trying to give it to them just yet. But y'all have messed up now. We took that $750,000. And so I think the strategy was extremely important. I think it was positive for the culture to see that we could band together. But watching Big Brother, you had to realize that this is a game of strategy. So people got their feelings hurt. As Miranda said, Stacey, we love you, Shenanigans Inc., but we're probably never going to watch another season of Big Brother for multiple reasons. One, because that season was 37 episodes long, and we don't have the time of day because that's not what we want to watch. For me. Two, it was just too much of the too much of the backbiting. If this is not your thing, we call it strategy, but they were like left and right at each other's throats. People didn't know they were going to get thrown up. People were crying because they thought they were all of a sudden friends because I'm in this house with you for 90 days. It's not about you. It's about this $750,000 that was going to be awarded to one of us at the end. So yes, the strategy is a positive thing for the culture. You two can win. But for the producers and for other complected people out there, you better look out. You never know what's going to happen. We can win at any given moment if we band together. So that's the impact for me.
I would also be interested. I didn't look into the production team of Big Brother, but the thought that it's scripted also makes me think, what if that was a part of the plan? Especially because of all the things that were happening around that time of the people doing this were told, you guys got to win, figure it out. Like, one of these black people, one of you need to win. You got to figure it out, though. Or something like that. Something along those lines.
Interesting that the producing aspect would come up in this conversation. So some may think that it was the plan altogether to eliminate people that look like you and I from the winner circle. But the other aspect of it is, were these just the right 6 people to put in the house to band together? Because previously there have been minorities. They could have just had their eye on the money and out for self versus thinking of the culture, thinking of the bigger picture. Could that be another aspect of why there wasn't a winner in 22 seasons?
I actually want to, if we could step back just for a quick second, because when we were talking about producing, it made me wonder, maybe it was a black producer. Who knows?
Right,
Perhaps they put in someone of color, because even before, I only saw pictures of people, but I don't think you had that many. So how do you build an alliance with 3 people of color? And when we're talking about people of color, if we're talking about these were African Americans or they identified as African Americans, that is different still from African Americans and an Indian, African Americans and a Haitian, African American. It's still different. And so I don't think I saw where prior to it that they had that many. Yes, they may have had a couple of people, but I don't think they had that many. So to Orvin's and Marsé's point, was this scripted? Not scripted.
Was it all rigged? Was it rigged?
I think it was like
So,
two, if I'm not mistaken, when I look back at, because I definitely did go look for the winners. It had to be two, no more than three. It was Asian or two, and
yes.
like it wasn't. Everybody else was of Caucasian descent. Like they might have been mixed with something, but
Mhm.
we were the first Black slash African American winner. Season 23, it was like two Asians, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was real bad. So even still, I agree to that point. Back to what I can't remember how you stated your original question that you just said, Stacey.
Was it the right six people that they put in the
Oh,
house,
okay.
or was it were the other individuals that had the opportunity, the other African American individuals that had the opportunity, although the numbers may be smaller, to Miranda's point, were they
Got
just focused on, oh, I love you, but I got 750,000 I'm going for.
I believe that it matters, and this is to a testament to the community. It matters what people you have in the room. And not to say that we all aren't smart in some shape or factor, but these people had particular backgrounds as well. They were like really smart. One of them was a young doctor. For those who know Dr. Doogie House, like she was real. Cha Cha was real young. She was like a prodigy doctor or something like that. One was an attorney. One was a registered nurse. Like these people had. It wasn't just Joe. I used to drill drugs on the street, even though they smart too. I'm just saying it just wasn't random regular Black people that. Oh yeah, I finished part of my high school career. Like these people were educated, smart Black people with the. I don't know what Big D did, but he was the son of Joe Frazier. These people
Right.
had backgrounds, is what I'm trying to say. So they had particular backgrounds, and I think they just happened to at this point put the right people in the room that understood the assignment. If that makes sense, like they might have tried something of a sort of alliance in these previous 22 seasons that we didn't see, but I think the right people were in the right room at the right time, and it just worked out for the alliance.
And see, I don't know if I don't know. I think you could have had six black other people that maybe weren't. I think black people will stick together if they think that there is a reason to stick together for, and they can see their why in the end. But I'm still going to say, if it was only, how are you going to have another type of alliance if it's just three? If there is an Indian, an Asian, and a black person, eh, is that going to get you far? Is
It
how far can it really get you? Does it? I don't
it
know.
it could they could, to Orban's point, they could be the right three individuals that understand, hey, you, I'm not going to vote you out. I'm not going to vote you out. I'm going to look out for you. You don't vote me out, and kind of work. It'll be definitely harder because the numbers aren't there. Yes, I agree. But the premise would be, I'm circling the room, I'm working the room, but I know that I got two people that I'm strongly aligned with, and no matter what you say to me or what you offer me, I'm not going to be disloyal to these two individuals, because we are here as whatever your alliance is. We are here because we're all plumbers. I don't know. It could be. It's just that you have to have the right three to six individuals in the room.
And on top of what you both said, the truth of the matter is everybody's not invited to the cookout. So like we gotta remember that from our standpoint. Like you don't invite all your coworkers to the cookout if we go from that standpoint, and that's why they call the alliance a cookout. Only certain people get invited to come over and participate in the partaking of the beef and the ribs and the potato salad and all that. And they make a joke out of now on the internet, like certain white people get invited to the cookout. Like it's a Black thing for them to come up with that name and call it that. I would have, we would definitely, to your point, Miranda, go back. Not that we are going to do that. Go back and research every single season to bring fact to the point. But I do agree that if six people decided that, oh, we got an Indian and an Asian inside of our full Black people, the strategy would work, sure. But I just think that those people that came up with the idea which I can't remember her. Tiffany, I might have been at this point, came up with the idea to make a cookout and stick to we gonna make a black person winner. I think it just really worked out in their favor at this point in time in life, and it just came during a good time.
All right. Great conversation. Thank you, Miranda, Marsé, Orvin, for all your insight. This topic is definitely sensitive in nature and definitely complex. It is, I will put a plug in. I still, guys, will pursue Miranda, Orvin, and Marsé watching season 24, 25, and 26. They're almost there. I almost got them. They're into it. You can tell by just the healthy discussion that we just had. Don't let their faces fool you. Anyway, remember we talked about peer pressure before. I'm going to apply pressure, guys. So thank you to our listeners. We would love to hear your thoughts on this discussion topic. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Almost Anything Goes podcast. Turn on your notifications and stay up to date on new episodes. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversation going, guys. Bye.